Today's topic, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to go through some fast fire questions about real estate investing, the top 10 most frequently asked questions about real estate wholesaling. So that's what we're going to share with you guys today. So before we answer these questions and get started, guys, again, our only request for you guys is that you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow, guys, and make sure you like, comment. We want to hear what you guys have to say so we can get this algorithm up and get this video out to as many people. We know that this video will help in the real estate journey. Please help us with that, guys. So without further ado, Mr. Kirk, let's get started. What is real estate wholesaling and how does it work?
In a nutshell, what wholesaling is you're going to find a motivated seller that's looking to sell their distressed property. You'll get that property under contract, and then you'll sell your rights to that contract to another investor that will purchase your rights for a fee.
Can anyone get started in real estate wholesaling, or are there specific requirements?
The beauty about it is, yeah, anybody can do it. There's no licensing for it. There really isn't any regulation against it. I think the only thing right now is that if you're approaching a seller and you're telling them that you're going to purchase the property, you might want to have the resources behind you to purchase it just in case you can't sell it, right? You're actually promising that to the seller. If you don't have the resources, just be honest, right? Say, hey, Mr. Seller, I have a group of buyers that I work for. I'm looking for properties to procure for them. This is what I can do for you, in your situation. It's easy as that. Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. It keeps you out of trouble.
Love it. Honesty is key. All right, so number 3, I think you already answered this. What are the key steps involved in wholesaling a property?
Key steps: finding a seller.
Yep.
Right? After you find a seller, you get the property under contract. After you get the property under contract, you find an end buyer. You assign your rights to that end buyer. You have to make sure you follow the process throughout the whole title process, right? Because that seller was depending on you. Typically, they don't know when you assigned your rights, so you want to make sure that everything is going according to plan at title, and you see it all the way through to the finish.
All right, so question number 4, how do I find motivated sellers for real estate wholesaling?
There's a multitude of ways that you can find these people. Typically, when you're just starting off and you don't have the funds, the best thing is driving for dollars, right? So what you'll do is you'll drive around neighborhoods and you'll look for properties that look or seem to be distressed, right? So you're looking for tall grass, you're looking for tarps on the roof, boarded up windows, things of that nature. Properties that investors are looking to buy and rehab. You'll drive around neighborhoods, you'll jot those addresses down. You'll go to the county website, right? And you'll look up the owner information for those properties. Get in contact with the owner and hopefully find your first deal. It's the best way. After you get your first deal going, then there's quicker ways of doing it, right? You can buy motivated lists, people that show up on tax delinquency, they show up on code violation, things of that nature, but those things cost money. As you build up your bank account, you'll be able to start paying for those type of leads to come in.
Absolutely. All right, number 5, what strategies can I use to negotiate with sellers effectively? So this is going to be very simple. Strategies you can use to negotiate with sellers effectively. These are the 4 most important things when having a conversation with the seller. 1 is understanding their motivation or the reason for selling. That is super, super important when having this conversation to really understand what you're even negotiating against. What do they need from you? Second thing is to understand their timeline. How fast do they need to close? Do they need a long close or a short close? The third one is really understanding the condition of the property. So when you're on the phone and communicating with these sellers, you need to know as much about that house as possible so you can use that for your negotiating strategies to get that property as discounted as possible. Because if they're telling you there's foundation issues or there's roof issues, HVAC issues, electrical, plumbing, those are expensive issues. So you want to make sure you're accounting for those up front, because again, remember, money's made on the buy, not the sell. So if you can get that property discounted as much as possible up front, you're just making sure that you're getting that profit on the back end. Number 4, we've got to talk about price, right? So understanding what's most important to them, what do they need to reach the next chapter of their life, what have they talked about it, or what they feel like is a fair price for that property. And once you have those 4 most important topics about a property and talking to the sellers, then from each one of those, put those together and figure out ways how you can negotiate so you can get those properties under contract at the price that you needed to get it at so you can put money in your pockets. So number 6, what legal considerations should I be aware of when wholesaling real estate?
It's protection, right? So you can wholesale in your personal name, but typically you want to protect yourself, right? Well, siphon your personal resources away from that. So the best way to do that is start an LLC, create an LLC and do your business out of that LLC. The second thing is having good contracts. Make sure you have either a lawyer draw up your contracts or you get contracts from a reputable place. You have Rocket Lawyer, you have all these different places where you can draw up contracts, make sure you have the right agreements to do business with.
All right, guys, so number 7, what is the role of a real estate wholesaler in the real estate transaction process?
You're literally just connecting the seller to the buyer. That's it. I like to use the analogy of, let's say Walmart or Sam's or any grocery store. When they're buying their produce, they're going to a producer at a certain price. Let's just say 10 cents, right? Then they bring that produce back to their store and then they mark it up to $1 and they sell it to the consumer at $1. It's the same thing that we're doing on the wholesale side, right? You're finding a product at a lower amount and then you're bringing it to the end buyer at a higher amount. You're being the middle liaison between them. That's all it is.
Okay, number 8, how do I determine the value of a property for wholesaling purposes?
That's a great question. Determining values. It's probably the most important thing when wholesaling the property, right? If you have the wrong values, that means that you'll have the wrong contract price, which means that you're gonna have a very hard time trying to sell that deal.
Yep.
So the best way is to run what's called a comparable analysis of the area. So whenever you get a property under contract, you'll then go to what's called the multiple listing service. Typically, this is where the realtors play. These are where properties are sold on the retail market. The retail amount is going to show you what someone sell that property for after they repair that property. So the best place to go is the retail market. Look at all the properties that have sold within. We like to be at a max, probably half a mile radius around the subject property we have. And we look at all the properties that are in the similar make, like for, bedrooms, bathrooms. We look at that, right? We want to make sure that the properties that we're looking at that are selling is exactly like ours. So we can have a definite number of what we think that property can sell for once all fixed up.
Awesome, moving along, number 9. So what marketing techniques are effective for attracting buyers as a wholesaler?
Pushing out good deals. That's all you need, right? You just have to have good deals. You can find buyers anywhere and everywhere. Buyers are dime a dozen if the numbers make sense. So just make sure that you're locking up the deal at a good price on the front end and you'll always have a buyer on the back end.
All right, guys. So number 10, last but not least, what are common challenges faced by real estate wholesalers and how can they be overcome? The biggest challenge that I see for a lot of new wholesalers is getting really good at running their numbers and knowing their numbers. Honestly, if you don't know your numbers, just like Kirk said, if you don't know how to value a property, you don't know what buyers are buying at, it's gonna be very hard for you to even make money in this business. So as a wholesaler, I think the biggest challenge that you're gonna have starting off is really knowing how to value a property and how to value rehabs. So then that way you know what to offer sellers, because that's the starting point. You gotta start there, right? You gotta get a property under contract. I think it's super important for you guys to really make sure you just watch as many videos as you can, whether it's learning from us or going to YouTube University, other videos, or getting a mentor, whatever that's gonna be help you guys get really confident with running your numbers. At the end of the day, that's what this business is run off of. It's literally run off of the numbers, right? Of course, you got to connect with people and do the sales process and deal with title companies and end buyers, but at the end of the day, it's all run by numbers. And so if you get really, really good at knowing your numbers, the values in your local market, really knowing how to estimate a rehab, then you're going to be confident as a real estate wholesaler of knowing what a deal actually is and what a deal looks like. So that way, when you present it in front of buyers, now you sound like you know what you're talking about. And that way, when you're going to talk to these buyers who are really savvy, right, who've bought a lot of deals, they're gonna know that, hey, this person is putting the work and they know what they're talking about. And it's gonna limit you to be so easily taken advantage of, especially in your first few deals. Knowing your numbers, baby.
That's definitely number one. I'd say the second thing is just being organized. I've seen a lot of people come into the industry just being unorganized, how it can kill deals very quickly. Things fall through the cracks because you don't have the proper processes in place, or you're trying to do too many things at the same time. You miss out on important things that may be happening in a deal, right? Just because you can't get to it and you don't have everything in place that needs to be in place. So just make sure that you get really organized when starting this. You kind of understand the processes. You put things in place to make sure that things don't fall through the crack while you're working.
Those are 10 of the most asked questions about real estate wholesaling. So from guys who are actually doing this business. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. And again, make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, hit those comments below. Shoot us a DM, guys, if there's anything that we missed or just any questions that's come to mind after hearing us discuss these different topics. We definitely want to help you in your real estate journey, just as others have helped us. So we definitely wish you guys all the best in your real estate journey. It's only fun unless we all eat. So we look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Peace.
Peace.